I'm going to prove a point today that I do actually sell my own products. Welcome everybody back to Bucked Up Hay. Let's get the day rolling and start cutting and making some hay. I need to make a little truck that gets back to the barn. Ooh, there's some nice pallets of lettuce. In order to help pay off our maintenance fees, I'm going to take this all into market. We spent $34,000 on maintenance costs last episode, and quite frankly, I found that if you just maintenance the stuff as you go, it's a lot cheaper. We serviced everything in the shop and it only cost me, I think, a couple $100. That is a big pallet of eggs. That might be worth some money. We have Nate's field to mow, we have Austin's yard to mow, and we also have my yard to mow. Everybody's going to congregate somewhere at some point, but I'm going to try and get my day started up bright and early at 5 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm just curious as to how much this is going to bring at the market. Let's see. 11,000. Holy cow. That's a lot of money. Let's do ourselves a favor and put that back into our greenhouse by filling it up with water. And then it is off to greasing the Macdon and out to the fields. If you are a big fan of the Bucked Up farming and you'd like to let me know about it, consider heading down below and dropping a like. It's really easy to stay up to date with us. All you got to do is also hit that subscribe button and click the bell. The Kubota's in slight need of fuel, but we don't need to worry about it because we don't drive this thing as much anymore. Chickens still need feed. I can grab that from my shed. And surprisingly, this was not out of water. That's pretty good. Oh, shoot. The dairy's actually in need of milk. Let's run a load or two down there. There you go, dairy. Let's give you something to do. As much as I'd like to mow the ditch sides, it is by far not even close to a priority right now. Pretty sure since Austin's purchased that field, we actually can mow this ditch now and make the roadsides look nice. And that makes me excited because that gets to make my yard look even better. Never stand between me and my lawn. Got it? Slight change of mind. I'm going to head down to the co-op ground. I want to see what that difference of the tornado damage versus non-tornado damage is. This field's going to be all hay this season. I think I also saw Nate go down the road with a forage harvester. Not certain, but pretty sure of it. Oh yeah, he is going down his road. Look at him go. Go, Nate, go. Hey, Sunshine, is that you down there?
Maybe.
The heck did you buy?
I ain't buy, I rented.
You're renting a forage harvester. Or is that what that is?
Yeah.
What size is it? 89?
The biggest I can get. A 99.
99? Jeez.
I went as big as I could. It only cost me about $50,000 in total.
And you have that money where?
I sold the oats.
Oh, that makes sense. All right, well, if you need me, I'll be over here running on the co-op ground. I want to see what that tornado did on my side. I'm not going to come out on top of this as best as you did.
Well, I think I might be okay because I've decided I'm just going to kind of take a loss in the area, backtrack a little bit, do some silage over there in the area where the tornado hit, and do that up there, and then put a cover crop to give me a little extra yield going into next year.
Do you want us to put up a fence line between these two pieces of land, or would you rather me just kind of go in and put a little bit of regular meadow grass?
Hey, listen, that's Austin's.
Well, he's not gonna care. I'm thinking for the sake of the computer's having a hard time recognizing that there is a break between the ground.
I'm about to say, yeah. For me though, I mean, once I get that straw off, I'm done with it.
Okay.
It immediately goes back to Austin, in my opinion. He gonna do what he does with it. I'm just trying to get that little bit of straw off of it. And honestly, I need to get your baler. Do you mind if I borrow your baler to go and get that done with it?
For what? Oh, the straw?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, everybody's having to borrow my baler, but yeah, I just gotta... This field will be hay. Right. Well, there goes Grant. Grant just blew by. He just passed a school bus. I wonder if he knows I'm down here. I told him to stop by if he needed anything, but I didn't tell him I was going down here.
Nah, he's down here at the store now.
Oh. Well, wait, at the store? How the heck did you get to the store? Aren't you over at the field?
Yeah, I went and got the semi-truck.
They finally get those teleportation devices up and working?
No, I actually drove the semi-truck all the way down here.
But you're at the store?
Yeah, I drove the semi-truck from my farm to the store, picked up the trailer, and I'm on my way back.
I didn't see you go back.
Yeah, you were facing the other direction when I went by.
Oh. Yeah, go up there if you need to. Like I told Austin, just reset the bale counter so we know what it gets for bale logs.
Once I get you this little area right here knocked out, I'll be fine.
Okay. Austin never sent me the data, what's on... It's 13 bales. I just gotta write down 13 bales. I need to remake the entire bale log. There we go. Took me a second, but I got my new bale log written up. We got 31 silage bales out of this last year. I'm not expecting to get even 25 hay bales. I would think maybe 21 or 20. Austin straw will help offset that. I'm not too concerned. Just need to make 4 headlands, and it is off to the runs. Could you please just take a field entrance?
We got a truck like F-350, man. You just pull right through the ditch. She'll pull through there. Hey,
do I need to rewind to the part? No, I do not. Well, I mean, I do, but it's reserved for my cooler.
Left a little surprise for you back at your farm.
Oh, did you know? What'd you get me? Is
You'll
it good
see.
or bad?
It's just weird. It's weird.
It's weird. All right. I'm expecting to see some sort of a... I don't even want to know.
It's not.
What
that
do you
bad.
need?
It's not that bad. I'm gonna start cutting some more hay. Can you do some baling for me?
You're going to have to either be really quick or you're going to have to be on a wait list. Nate's got to bale his straw behind me.
You got to bale all that straw behind you.
That field, yes.
Oh my gosh.
It shouldn't take too long.
We get Nate. There he is, I think.
Oh, yeah, that's him. Wait, what's he doing with the header?
I don't know. He
That's
must be
the
going with some...
that's the pickup header, the Macdon, because we did all the oat harvest yesterday.
Gotcha. Wait, so you cut them and then he's picking up the oats, harvesting the oats out of it, and then leaving the straw?
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
Hang on, actually, let me flag him down. Hey.
Yeah.
Hey.
And
Question.
why was I at this community meeting? Yes.
You got all of the straw completely done.
Oh, crud. I finished...
Was it at least 3 trucks?
Yeah, I think I delivered 3.5 trucks to the co-op.
Gee.
Dude, the threshing on that was insane.
I mean, I'm thinking about going buck wild and doing it with beans as well.
You might as well, but you're going to have to pay me for that one.
What are you going to plant after the oats?
Wheat.
Wheat. Okay.
Wheat. It's time to start planting wheat, and if I can go ahead and get it in the ground, it'll be ready this time next year.
That tornado that hit, I had the insurance agent come out. I got $100,000 worth of repairs on all my buildings.
Really?
Like
It did that much damage to you?
Yeah. Yeah, I came, look at the path. It comes right down, right towards my farm.
I wonder what Jake ended up getting, because it basically smacked the side of the grain dryer. It went right through it.
To be honest, I'm kind of glad, because I was going to upgrade some sheds, and now I got some cash to upgrade some sheds.
I guess to each their own.
All I got out of it was down corn.
You got so screwed on. Well, what'd you get for crop
down.
insurance?
You get kicked out of the FSA program, or what?
I didn't even buy crop insurance this year. I was like,
oh, you bonehead. You spent it all on the stuff to treat it, didn't you?
Yeah.
Oh, you numbskull.
Gosh,
Mine's
dang.
grass. Mine just grows back anyway, so I'm not too concerned about it.
I'll make my money back once I put the cover crop down and deal with it next year.
You're going to get slammed by 3 tornadoes, and they're all going to hit right in the center of your field for saying that.
I guarantee you next year I'm having crop insurance.
You better. Anyways, I'm going to mow this. Afterwards, I'm going to head to your field. You need me to bale, but we already discussed what we need to do with that.
Yep.
Hold on.
Anybody else?
When does he need to borrow the baler? Because I need to borrow the baler pretty much sooner because I need to get all that straw out of the field.
Your ground isn't even cut, right?
No.
Ground's
Okay, I need to just buy my own baler at this point. I've got my own square baler, so I think I'm just going to bale my own, actually.
Okay.
And I can grab those silage bales, too.
Oh, for crying out loud. I'm done with you.
They're still there.
I'm done with you. I'm done. Bye.
But do you want me to write on the machine how many hours we had before I started using it?
Just give me the bale log of how many bales that you did out of it. I already have the number from Austin stuff. That's fine. Just cutting out front of traffic, just like usual. All right, have fun, bozos. Never get enough of those two, I swear. You know, if you guys want to get your friends together and have just about as much shenanigans fun as we have on ours, I'd like to thank the sponsor and the provider of our server today, and that is GPortal. So if you'd like to get yourself a bucked up server to start making memories with your friends, be sure to check out the link in the description down below. Really excited to start working with GPortal and the services that they're willing to provide to this wonderful community. I like guidance steering as much as the next guy, but until we get that field mapped out on the bottom half where it splits between oats and grass, I'm going to run this the old school way, bringing us back to our Griffin, Indiana days. I miss that Heston sometimes. The Macdon's really nice, but I really do miss that Heston. It was a good mower. Now remember, Buck, you're on the last headland. After this, you start going side to side. If you don't start going side to side, I'm gonna smack you. This patch is just rough, man. This is bad. Oh, I don't want to know how many bales I'm not gonna get out of this patch. Because it is the whole corner. It's not a little patch, it's the whole corner. At some point, I'd like to set up a toolbox at my south shed. The equipment down there has not been maintenance other than basic grease zerts, and I really don't want to have to haul that all the way back up to the house or to the dealer down at the farmer's market. Only cost me $1,000, and I think that's well worth the investment. We learned last time why we keep up to date on our maintenance, and we're doing a lot better than Nate because I don't want to have to pay $34,000 to repair my stuff. To land on a good note, by doing all of this hay work, we do have a lot of streaming content available to us, and with the incorporation of Old School now, there's plenty to try and sift through to keep you guys all entertained, whether it is live or hosted videos. Before we tune into the radio, I want to mention something about 3800 the Buck. At the start of the month of March, I'm going to have a really cool one-time offer for you guys that I don't think you're going to want to miss. I'll fill you in on more as I get to know more. And if jamming to a lot of really great music does interest you, be sure to tune in to 3800 the Buck on Spotify at buckedupproductions.com. I see a knob, and I see some grass. Let's rock while we roll.
Man, I always had stories about the city life and the crazy nights. Figure I should probably give it a try. Maybe check it out, see what it's all about. But the traffic was fast and the money was slow. The people I met you never get to know. I kinda miss this place I used to live back home. 'Cause up here it's breakneck, paycheck, rat race, what's next? I'm tired of feeling like a small fish in a big pond. I think I'll go back where I came from, where everybody knows my name. My friends are still the same. I guess the slow life hit me just right, like a bonfire on a cold night. Hell, and you can keep your 9 to 5, happy with the simple life.
Looks good enough to eat for me. Let's move south. Since Nate actually did his expansion on the dairy cattle, it kind of makes the field a little bit smaller. I mean, that's going to make a difference, but each and every bale counts in reality. Everyone else is kind of trying to start settling in for the night, but I'm going to have to probably work through the night. We got a relatively big storm cell that might be making its way into the area tomorrow, and I do not have time to fit this field in. Do I sometimes wish that I could use the header that we had for the oat swathing? Absolutely. I kind of got a little spoiled by that, and now I'm trying to do the same job with a header that's like, I don't know, a third of the width. I could buy a pull-behind mower, but that just put more hours on my tractors, and we obviously saw what happened to Nate. $34,000 later on a bill you don't want to pay. For being almost 8 o'clock at night and being 88 degrees, that's pretty impressive in my eyes. Like, that's not too terribly surprising for Midwest summers, but when it's 88 degrees out and you're trying to go to bed, prove me wrong, that is just miserable, especially if it's humid out. When I used to live in my old apartment, it had just one of those tiny little window AC units that had to cool the whole place. Boy, when I tell you that back bedroom was hotter than Hades, it was a fact. It was miserable some nights. Every time I cut this field, I always feel it goes a little bit faster each time, which I think that's probably a good thing. Or maybe I'm just getting better at it, or I just feel like it takes less time. It's like when you pay attention on a road trip, and then when you come back, it feels like it was like 5 times faster than when you went. And if we still got enough daylight left, I might come out with the rake, that or we might just cut one of the fields closer to home. Just depends on where the horizon and the sunlight meet. Yeah, I don't think we're gonna be raking and mowing my other field. We might be able to make the raking happen, but it's gonna get dark pretty quick. Not the end of the world, but that is a clean looking field. I know Austin got on my rear end that I haven't cut his yard yet, but we got Nate's taken care of. Austin's we might try and pencil in sometime tomorrow. When I get into cutting hay, I go from 0 to about 200 miles an hour real fast. And because my deal with Nate is that I pretty much just get to keep his fuel. Correction, I get to use his fuel, but he gets to keep his bales. Helps save me in the fuel department, that's for certain. Let's head on back to the house, get ourselves some sleep. There is a possibility that storm cell might just miss us. It looks kind of patchy, but I'll get up early in the morning so that way we can really try and beat the storm, or in our case, stay ahead of it, and we'll keep on rolling, baby. I don't know what those meteorologists are talking about, but this is like the definition of a Claritin Clear day. It's gonna be a bright, sunshiny day. Sorry, it's been a hot minute since I've heard that song. It's a really good song, actually. We'll start off down at the south shed, as it's pretty much the best field to get the blades going this morning to test the dew. And I'm gonna test my hypothesis. I think because Austin bought that ground, the way this map works, other than the actual legitimate main street, we are now able to mow all the way up to the roadside. I'm going to test that theory. Yeah. I can mow the road now. Thank you, Austin, for buying that piece of land. I can make my road look good. I can make my road look good. Can I say that Farm Sim really does spoil me when it comes to mowing grass? I love to mow grass. I really wish I could go outside and mow my yard right now, but it's completely frozen over and the grass is dead. Yeah, it can get repetitive from time to time, but overall, I love doing this stuff. That finishes off that section. Let's run up, grab the Kubota, and we're going to do the raking with that. All of this ground off to my left is going to be silage ground. We don't do any of that with Nate's because Nate only needs hay bales done. We'll grab the Farm King, go knock his out, and then probably merge my house, and then I might pop off and head into town for a little trip. Got a couple of deals I'm starting to work out with all this cheese that I'm going to be able to start selling. I could sell it right now, but I'm working out the best prices, you know. You got to get the best prices for the cheese. I guess it's worth notioning, this ground also needs to be raked because this was all silage last year, and this has got to be hay. If there's one thing I will definitely give Giants props for, it is how beautiful the water looks in this game. The fact that it also is dynamic is really, really cool on its own. We may not be able to dry the grass as fast as we mowed it, but we can at least dry it at double the width, making it half the passes. Ooh, it also looks like the storm pushed back to about 2 in the morning. Because, yeah, tomorrow and the rest of the week is supposed to be all rain. Hello. I might just have to kick myself in the butt. I still do not think I have fed my chickens. I have yet to feed my chickens. Dang it. It's a good thing they do not require any real maintenance, because if they did, I think all of my chickens at this point would be dead. We wouldn't even get the chicken pot pie, because the chicken part wouldn't exist. We'd just have the pot pie. And that probably would not taste very good. Getting the outside rows raked on these kinds of fields are always an interesting project because when you have those really angled lines, you kind of have to pick, are you going to make this line the one that chops into the outside, or are you going to try and leave the outside line clean and ruin the inside? If you really were that picky, you could just go back over on the outside and pull it back in to make a nice clean row, but then you're just wasting time. We're making really great headway, and quite frankly, I love the way this Kubota drives. It's just so easy with the CVT. I freaked out a bit earlier because I looked at my service bar. I just fixed this tractor last episode, but I forgot I never repaired the bale spikes in the front. So those are what dragged the service bar down, and then of course the Farm King's never been maintenanced. I ain't got anything to worry about. We grease it, we maintenance it, we save ourselves some money. But on the topic of keeping your stuff maintenance, why don't we talk about keeping your stuff clean, because that helps too. Andy, I need my soap. Where's my soap? If you guys want to help out with Andy trying to convince him to start up a new merchandise site through Farm Focus, just head on down to his Instagram and Twitter in the description and comment on any of his posts, #WeWantAndy. His audience is going to be super confused, and he's already told me that he's been seeing it. So you guys are doing a great job, but we got to get this man a website. Andy Clean Express. Never did put it in my log, but I can never remember how many bales I get out of this field each cutting. I feel like this one's a 30 banger of some sorts. Earlier this week, we actually went over to Bucked Up Stables, the horse farm series, and when we went to buy all of our new baling equipment, I had to channel my inner hay work because, you know, I kind of do a lot of hay work, if you know what I mean. So it was my job to find the most efficient and also quickest way to get the most amount of hay out of our ground. Nate and Jake were doing a fantastic job helping me out, but that job site could also be a lot more optimized if we had this particular rake right here. I just wish it had an option that you could also rake with it only, kind of like the rake I had on Grandpa's farm. You could just flip it back and forth between windrower and tedder, but this one windrows and teds at the same time. I just wish I could take off the tedder part.
let's jump on back over to the new shed ground, get that merged in, and I'll see you guys back up at the house for a nice brisket. I don't actually have a brisket, but now that really sounds good and I kind of want to eat one. Before we end up grabbing the merger, got a question for you guys. You already know what to do. Head down to the comments section. Nate made a good point in the old Bucked Up Stables farm of, I tend to do a lot of hay work, and that's pretty reasonable. But what part about the Bucked Up Hay Farm keeps you guys coming back in the numbers that you are? I always try my best to make sure that you guys are getting a pretty much original product every single time. We find some way to make it interesting, so we're not just doing the same thing over and over again, even though that tends to be what we're doing. So really, tell me, why on earth are you guys keeping on coming back? I need to know, so that way I can keep doing it, and doing it better. And an additional note, I really do like the placement of that shed. It just looks right sitting there. I don't know what it is, if it's just because where it sits or how it sits, but I love the way that layout works. It just works. I mentioned this before, but this merger does a lot better job of packing tighter rows. The Farm King is great, do not get me wrong, but it doesn't throw as tight of a swath. So when I go over it with the baler, the hay work usually has a bit more leftovers sitting out on the ground unless I choose to go and, pick that back up. Kind of like that pallet of cheese that I just noticed is sitting there. And I think that's just due to technological advances. The Farm King rake is an older style reel rake. It's meant to just throw the grass into a hole, but this one, it works like a baler tine, and then it throws it on a conveyor belt, and depending on which way you have the belt set, it just throws a nice big swath in between the two. And to make an example, if you throw a bunch of swath into the other swath, kind of doesn't matter because they're both throwing towards the center. So you're gonna get the maximum amount of swath in a tightly packed row. This concludes today's lesson on why I dislike this merger. Which, come to think of it, I can't even do the servicing on this thing either because this is Grant's merger. I don't own this thing. Dang it. This might be a really quick sidetrack, but I kind of want to take a look in the used market and see if they... Okay, they don't. How much does this thing cost? Where are the telehandlers? That thing costs $150,000. If we can find one of these in the used market, I am buying it because of that whole system right there. This is like the smartest, most efficient piece of equipment I've ever seen in my life. We almost could sell the Kubota and buy a Marlowe. With 170 horsepower, I think it actually matches up with my M8. Ooh, it's slightly less powerful, but still, that would be a lot more efficient than this. I don't want to make anyone mad, but there's a possible chance we might be selling off the Kubota if I see one of those Marlows pop up in the used market. Just saying, I might. That telehandler really made a statement on how practical it can be. Its maneuverability, its functionality, who knows? We'll just keep it on our radar. But that really concludes our merging process. So let's head up and get the chickens fed and kind of start to wrap out our day. I don't think the chickens are going to need this whole bed, but if they do, then I can just throw the rest of it in the pallet in the bed so I can get it out of my storage shed. Oh, so close. One more day and they'd definitely be able to go through the rest of my feed. I think that's going to do it for us today, guys. Thank you all for tuning in to Bucked Up Hay. Probably was a little shorter one, but not every single episode needs to be 45 minutes long. As we grow this ever so popular playlist, be sure to check out the County Line Revival Series playlist up in the top right-hand corner. Why I'm driving back up here, I don't know, because the chickens don't need any food. Always remember to keep it light, keep it loose, keep it fresh, and most importantly, keep it fun. We shall see you guys all in the next one. This is the Rental Man out. Peace.